And there we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. My name is Lucian Zenner. I am your host for today as we go over some new fighting games news. We have, of course, Marvel Tokon at a state of play from PlayStation earlier, and we will probably receive more information during the Summer Games Fest and at the end of the week. We also have, of course, my lovely darling 2XKO with a hell of a cool SENNA video with her release on June 9th. And I'm actually going to be right back because I completely forgot that. Actually, no, I didn't forget. Twitch just decided to load up the first ad block super late. So actually, I'm going to I'll be right back in a bit while that finishes up in a few minutes. God damn it. Freaking Twitch. Now we can go. Freaking capitalism. Anyhow, first and foremost, I wanted to go over the SENNA footage. I already saw it earlier today because they released it earlier today, and it was impossible to miss. You probably might have seen my reactions on social media. But now let's actually take a proper close-up look on her, making sure that the quality is high enough. Thank you very much. Yes, there you go. Okay, SENNA, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's go. There we go.
Ready. Banish the darkness. Cover your eyes.
That would be down 2H. No, sorry, 2H, down H, basically. Down heavy air. Low poke into medium. I'm going to guess that is a 2-part heavy hit.
Right in here.
No, it's a down S. It's down H, isn't it? Into Erica. Is the ghost mode a special or part of her normal attack?
Say hello to my seriously large friend.
Oh, that was a super interesting anti-air. Hold on. That's obviously charge heavy. Forward H maybe? Some kind of freezing stun. Hold on. It looks like she can expend souls for certain effects. That is suspending him right in the middle of the air. For charge shot. Special one.
I'm what the monsters run from.
Ghost mode has a slow progressive fireball that makes it so she can run up behind it after launching it. Makes it so that you don't really have a lot of say in being able to take control of the field against her. Interesting. And then she rushes you down with her monster mode. Tornado's really fun. We already learned from social media by her designer, actually, that the tornado can be adjusted mid-path and it will tilt like a Beyblade. And I'm not sure if that is like a ghost mode special, or if it's something like Nago Ryuki's blood gauge, where after a certain while it just pops. It's definitely an install state in some way. It's basically a super fast melee install state. You have triangle dashes. She turns back into Canada after a while, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like if you do a dash, it will cancel her out of ghost mode temporarily. But then you can do this. And this is obviously her level 3.
Light, dark, both weapons.
And that's sick. That is sick as freaking hell. Let's slow it down a little bit. Let's do 1.25. Oh no, that's 1.25 faster. So let's go, let's say 75% speed. Asu, welcome. Welcome. Oh, I also should make sure to remember to put this one up. Yes, there we go.
Darkness.
Okay. The Redeemer. I swear I'm not just looking at her butt. But this is clearly a crossover down heavy. Seems to have a lot of silence. Silence for the peanut countering. Seems to have a lot of hits done. That's a low jab, probably low light. That is going to be her standing medium. I thought at first blush that was her standing heavy, but it might actually be 2H. A double hit launcher. Followed by that light kick. That was a light kick. That looks like it's going to be a medium heavy blast. And I don't know if that is her S2 special or part of her heavy. I want to say anything that deals with her Wraith mode might be an S2, right? Like this might be jumping S2 without the install as an AoE multi-hit effect. Very similar to Bridget's jumping dust, actually. And then I want to say that is her actual heavy, or maybe it's just the attack ender, maybe. Like you do basically an AoE attack, and then it ends with a knockdown.
Say hello to my seriously large friend.
I want you to guess this is S1 super. S1 normal, assist, charged heavy. So it wasn't a medium, but that's not what we saw last time. It was a light into heavy. This is the charged heavy attack. Does a wall bounce when hit instead of slumping. I am not that might be her heavy. That might be her standing heavy. It looks a lot like, I almost want to say it might be a 6 heavy as well, because it it has a lot of resemblance with Naga Ryuki's 6H, right? It's a downward chop that does a ton of damage and basically ends a combo. 5H or 6H, yeah, that's definitely what I'm thinking. That, I want to say, is her standing ghost attack. Let's back up a little bit. Or two S2 actually, because it's anti-air, right? It's yeah. You're right. It definitely feels like a 2S2. It has strong anti-air properties. It absorbs a soul for her to use. That might be 5S2 instead. 5S2, where you have a soul charge, expends it as basically attack. As the knockout maybe? Actually, no, I'm not sure. Let me double check on that. Yeah. That we think is a 2S2. It definitely looks like she uses a charge here, right? You absorb a soul and empowers your next attack. I want to say that's going to be 5S2. It might have absorbed the soul back, maybe? No, but either way, if she does a 2 jumping heavy, and then over here, she blasts them. Jumping heavy S2. No, jumping S2. Jumping neutral S2 with a soul charge to suspend them in the air for an easy follow-up. Yeah. Wall bounce with the jumping heavy.
No shadow without
And then blast them with the S1 special. Block. What triggers Wraith Mode is what I really want to know. Is it like 4S2, 6S2? I don't know what it might be. Or maybe this is S2. Oh, I just bit my tongue out. Fuck. Maybe this is S2 special. Maybe you expand meter to become Wraith Mode.
what the monsters run from.
And then you have empowered, like, I will assume that replaces your gun's fireball, right? So S1 becomes a slow moving fireball instead. This is still... God, that's nasty. And what would be the dash? What would be the dash? Would it just be 6S2 again? Like for a downward dash, jumping 6S2 would give you a dash forward, or maybe it replaces S2, 5S2, or jumping 5S2 from what's basically a soul trigger, or like a soul absorb function into a dash. And then she can cancel out of it.
Let's live a little.
Okay, so that cannot be meter usage then. From that, given that she is able to enter ghost state from a charged position, I'm guessing that she can do a forced meter install to deal extra damage as an AoE explosive, but she has a way to enter ghost mode naturally, off a tag as well. And that was really quick. Yeah, tag immediate transition. Maybe forward S2 would be the ghost state transition then. Like either you can transition into it as sort of like a low hover dash from ground state. And then I'm going to guess she probably has some kind of like a ghost meter as well, so she can't stay in this form perpetually and just apply infinite pressure. Because it does feel like after she does a few moves from her normal position, like she does a dash down and then she loses ghost mode, she's back into her regular mode with very low transition. Like there's no like ceremonial transition from ghost mode to gun mode. She just gets her gun back when reforms from the shadows. So I'm thinking probably like you can enter ghost mode with a dash, but if you use the dash again, it exits out. Yeah, the dash seems to be the ghost exit, right? Because we just saw there. We just saw there that she did a dash forward into ghost mode. Yeah, dashes. This is the dash forward. Dash again. She's out ghost mode. So dash seems to be the stance transition state. But right after dash, you have a window to then open up with, or maybe it's not a window. Maybe it's just, it forces you into ghost mode if you use level 3. Just like visually.
Light, dark, both weapons.
So basically, what I'm looking at here is that she can choose whether or not to be a zoner or rushdown character with the dash. But the dash itself might have like a certain amount of vulnerability, so it's best used in conjunction with assist. Illaoi with assist is really good because Illaoi has huge lockdown frames for the assist to function. But also things like Vi's denting blows or Akali's standing S to Kusarigama whipping also gives you that window to have her like dash in and become basically rush down monster, right? It's basically sort of like if Abba was actually playable in 2.0 in that she has the transition between being a hardcore zoner and not having all that much mobility versus transitioning into her jealousy state, and then just becoming super fast and having huge active hitboxes that has huge reach and huge coverage and does like all your attacks to something obnoxious, something truly, truly obnoxious like that. And that looks fun. That is just inherently fun. If you are called out in any particular state, you're gonna have a hard time because the only way to, like, I think you get like one dash into ghost state, and if you try to dash again, you're in range mode and therefore in less beneficial state or even a disadvantageous state against somebody in a melee state, because it does seem as if the normals with the gun are pretty slow and easy to counter hit, and if they whiff, probably have a lot of recovery too, right? That seems to be the basic gist of it. But good transitions between the two modes means that you can easily dominate within their respective preferential ranges, I guess I would put it. Like, you want to be mid-range to far range for cannon mode and right up in their faces with melee mode, and that is the case. That's a lot of fun. I also want to see if, well, none of her assists were really shown in this. What were they? I can't actually recall any instances where she was used for her assist functions. And that would make a big difference. Because if the assist is between, say, a Beyblade strike or a long range sort of ray poke, yeah, it'd be basically DBFZ again. Beam assists, baby. Full range, maximum range, full screen beam assists. All over again, because that's where we, God, like just for that alone, she would be basically S tier support, right? Just for a beam assist, she would be obnoxiously good. And then you're telling me you can use the beam assist to lock down, have her partner lock them down further, transition into ghost state, rush down behind the partner. Yeah, it's attack classic, and you know, we actually haven't had too much of it. Like, Jinx doesn't count. That's not beam assist. That's a beam super. Yeah, we actually are missing the beam function in this tag game. She might just be an S tier support from the start. She's the only one in this game. Yeah, I mean, she is pretty much. Teemo builds meter so rapidly that you can almost call that a beam assist, especially in like duels mode or team fight mode, right? It gets used, that S1 special gets used often just as a way to lock down for max range. But no, it's not really the same. It's not really the same at all. Yeah. You get tri-dash, you get beam assist. I wonder if you can dash backwards. I wonder if 4S2 will work as a retreat, so that if you realize that you have lost the turn in Wraith mode, you can dash back out. I kind of hope it doesn't though, just so she has like functional weakness and that. No, I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. There has to be an easy way to transition between the two states at will, basically. What else can she do? I mean, a soul grab anti-air is also pretty nasty. And if she happens, I wonder if you can store souls in between tags. Because if that's the case, if you can set SENNA up such that she tags them with the soul grab that we saw against Darius, tag out, use her assist to consume the soul grab, stunning them with the soul release, and then that just gives a character with a lot of combo potential free reign over whoever is foolish enough to get stunned off of that. That sounds pretty nasty. That sounds like a nasty thing to do with attack setting. But I kind of doubt that's going to be the case. We're literally only a week until finding out, though. Literally, like in 7 days, we will all be playing SENNA, or having our asses whipped by SENNA, or artificially inflating our rank because of SENNA. Either or. But she does look great. She, in fact, looks amazing. And I cannot wait to see how busted my fingers are going to be from her combo trials. Because holy shit, those combo trials are hard. Huh. I can sort of intuit how she's going to react, though. Just based off experience with similar characters. Like, this is basically an ABBA if ABBA was actually worth a damn in this current patch. Like, you have a keep away mode that you're sort of just like using to like get in position for Wraith mode. And then Wraith mode goes nuts at close range. You just mix them up, toss them into a blender, make life living hell at close quarters. You thought my hitboxes were done? No, take an extra free hit. You're knocked back up and it's my turn again. Those active hitboxes in Wraith mode especially look really, really nasty. But also that makes her probably one of the most like complex to play characters, because characters with complex combos aren't necessarily the most complex to play, right? They have otherwise straightforward like approaches and incentives and things that they're looking out for to actually do what they need to do. And the actual like difficulty is in the execution layer, which is not the same thing as piloting the character, because piloting the character is a matter of knowing what you're supposed to do in neutral with the tools you have. And she has a lot of tools that change with that completely change and contextualize themselves with the press of a single button. So that makes her super complex to play, not just to combo with or to execute with. Or so I'm thinking. So I'm hoping, actually, because it's not as if CSGO suffers from complexity. In fact, that kind of like, if it allows more expressiveness, it can only help a game. And having a dual mode they have to be careful about switching between because of their relative strengths and weaknesses does tend to lead to a lot more player expression. Or like even like within SENNA specialists, they will have different specializations based on her two modes and how they change between the two modes given certain like context triggers. But I just freely speculate at this point. The fact of the matter is, I'm going to definitely try her out. I'm not sure if she relates to the vibe, but I can definitely kind of see it, because I want to play teams with the maximum chaos potential. And right now, Akali Vi is highly chaotic, mostly because Vi is a huge bully. I'm also over relying on Akali's command grab out of smoke, I think, but that's neither here nor there. In fact, I need to really remember to use Akali's teleports more often, because I think I'm not nearly using them to the potential they have, which is say a lot. But that's enough about SENNA. That is enough about SENNA. Oh, also, I forgot one last very, very important thing. Oh, let's go for full speed on this. That's either Viego or Thresh. I'm thinking it's Thresh. Because Thresh would be amazing in the fighting game. Chain-based attacks, hook-based attacks that drag you closer to get punished. Blitzcrank is already pretty good, but Thresh can be even more sadistic. So I'm really looking forward to that. All right, next. Marvel Tokon. In fact, let me switch over on... Oh, I forgot to switch my category. I was streaming on Tekken all this time. My bad. All right, there we go. Now on to Marvel Tokon.
Prepare to face the supreme master of the pugilistic art, the Duke of Get Your Dukes Up, Mr.
Actions are
Mr. Chappie's such a comic
than
name.
any word. And the greatest action is to fight.
You have defeated so many. You've defeated whole worlds. But you've never fought Doom. Let me show you why you should kneel.
Sungwon Cho, nice.
Doom, your works are mere trinkets. My genius is endless.
And now my turn. You made promises, Doom, and those promises shall be kept.
This violence will solve nothing, Eric.
My dearest Aurora, mutant kind shall rise, and I will be the one to lead the way.
This was surprising.
You look a little angry, Bug. Still holding a grudge.
Spider-Man's having a bad day in New York all over again.
Time to stop laughing, Cobby.
That all you got? Bomb the way! What? I'm gonna kill Spider-Man, not you!
Wow. Spider-Man's just having the worst possible day.
Which will give you one to the
Moment has come. Attack!
No mercy.
Let me do it! I'll slice you up!
Don't be greedy. He's mine.
Knights of Doom, destroy them!
The transition between
The end is
walking
near.
stance and flyer stance on Green Goblin especially looks really... Oh shit, that's nasty. Now, I did hear they made a lot of changes since the last time I touched Tokon, which is back in the last Evo even, that character switching is easier and more relevant now, so you can actually get advantages from doing so. And some other system changes that overall meets with my approval overall. When I last played Tokon, you basically had no reason to really switch, really. Like, you had the assist functions, and that's fine and all. But the actual switch between characters was slow enough that it felt like you were... Because they had a shared HP bar, first and foremost. Because the characters all had a shared HP bar, it didn't feel like switching between them was all that necessary or even beneficial. But I did hear that they have made some changes in how switching functions, active switches in particular, such that it actually makes sense to have multiple characters on your team instead of just one character, multiple assists, and like customize the assists based on the teammates you choose, right? But I do hope they actually do more to like extrapolate on the team play elements of this game. Because otherwise, why are we playing Tag Fighter? Yeah, let's go over frame by frame. Here we go.
Boss Doom, let me show you why you should kneel. Think you're a genius?
Someone definitely has a good villain voice.
Doom?
So that's the Doom Reflector. We are very familiar with this. It can be set up, it can be canceled and set up again to act as basically a standing projectile. It's Pro ZD. Yep.
My genius.
Those are normals. That's a super, actually. Why is that? Well,
Now
it's
my
European.
turn.
and then switch over
You
to
made promises,
Magneto.
and those promises shall be kept.
This violence will solve nothing, Eric.
My dearest Aurora, mutant kind shall rise, and I will be the one to
Magneto's looking
lead
nasty.
the way.
Being able to rain projectiles from angle is really tough to deal with. Green Goblin looks fun. Super aerial. Super mobile. He can use his flyer as a projectile as well for extra damage. Leaving him a ground state that then becomes a matter of like summoning it back or using the bombs. You can summon it back from behind as well. And the fact here, I want to see what was the trigger for Spider-Man knowing to dodge that one.
Still holding a grudge. Currency, huh?
Time to stop laughing, Gobby.
Is he just animation locked until he comes back?
That all you got? Bombs away!
The classic.
I'm gonna kill Spider-Man. Not
That flight path on the boomerang assist is kind of nasty. Wait, hold on.
Spider-Man.
Like long range reach. That splash effect. Carnage is looking pretty sick. Slaps it back down. Really long. Dal Sim. He's a super evil Dal Sim. With an axe for a hand. This. What's his name? From Under Night In-Birth. What? Let me look it up real quick. Let me look it up. It's frustrating I don't remember the name. Merkava. That's what it was. Exactly. Merkava. That's a Merkava super. And in fact, there's a lot of design overlap with Merkava too, because Merkava also has a lot of damn reach.
Moment has come. Attack!
No, man.
I wonder if that might not actually just be deliberate. I wonder if there might not be a Unis player among their creators. I would be surprised. There is obviously a lot of camaraderie between French Bread and Arxis. Sorry, I was looking over Merkava notes. But yeah, this feels more Merkava inspired than vice versa. I kind of dig it. Also, that's a super long reach. What the fuck? Actually, I kind of don't like there's so much full screen stuff. I get these unpleasant flashbacks to DNF Duel, where pretty much every button covered the whole damn screen. I like positioning games, you know? I like having something resembling a neutral, even if the neutral is really frenetic and chaotic. But all your shit covers the whole damn screen of this game.
Don't be greedy. He's mine.
Okay, right there is what I was talking about regarding the assist function actually being useful. Like, tag down, Spider-Man's crumpled, you got your Green Goblin going in, Green Goblin slides in for a knock-up, a bomb blast. The slider knocks Spider-Man, keeps Spider-Man suspended, and gives Green Goblin aerial mobility. And that turns into your entire aerial combo. That's awesome. That's sauce.
Feel my wrath!
The end is near.
And then that's just scary looking as hell. Okay, so we see that having the tag function outright leads to more combos and more damage and better positioning. Like we went from a super grounded combo into a full-on aerial combo because of the assist. Yeah, let's go back.
No mercy.
We have Magneto launch doing a projectile hits. We have Carnage switching over to do a full screen grab that combos into Magneto stuff. Tagging into Carnage once Spider-Man's knocked back towards them for a high-low combo. As soon as Spider-Man lands back down, switch over to Green Goblin. So wow, that's a lot of action switching. I think they must, if I recall correctly, you get 3 meters worth of switching to do, right? That uses up all 3.
Knights of Doom.
And then you use the full super.
Feel my wrath.
And you know what? That's sick.
Is near.
That's a lot better. They have now demonstrated that they actually have a functioning tag system that actually cares whether or not you have characters available to tag. That would have been way late game, right? Because you need to build up to 3 usable tag meters throughout the course of a round. And in order to do that, you have to wall break multiple times or like force. I'm pretty sure it's wall break. You have to wall break multiple times in order to unlock your team members. And at that point, it's way later in the game. This is probably like the decisive clash. So then you use all 3 meters to burn through 3 characters worth of combos, ending it with the full team super to clinch the round. And that's legitimately visually impressive and complex to actually pull off. And now we know that it's coming out on August 6th. So I have 2 months to save up for it. Pre-order now on PS5 and PC. And I may very well do that with my paycheck. That's fun. Tokon looks fun. And it probably won't be my main game because I really want to focus on 2XKO. But there's no arguing that it looks pretty sick now. And now that they have shown us what the actual combo system is actually going to look like with the tags, now it looks like a proper tag fighter. Now it looks like it's saucy as hell, and it sucks to be on the receiving end of it. So I hope you save a burst. Now, if I recall correctly, though, burst also spins through the same meter system. So you're basically choosing whether to burst or to use assists. Obviously, that depends on the context on whether or not you have the advantage or not, or whether or not your turn. But the villain team is looking pretty sick. I'm not too sure about their synergy, except for what we've seen from Carnage and Magneto, funny enough. I feel like Erica would hate Carnage for being such a senseless brute. But come to think of it, given that Magneto is Jewish and Dr. Doom is a Romani traveler, ethnically, they do have a lot in common. I'm surprised they don't team up more often. Sure, Doom is very, very is in fact an authoritarian dictator. But in terms of authoritarian dictators, it's not as if Eric's any better, right? his inclinations tends to be towards authoritarian in the first place, and the other ones that have a lot of overlapping worldviews. As for the villain they introduced, it's kind of a whatever. I would be very, very surprised if the villain of the game has any real interesting depth to them, and instead of being a very super generic villain of the week situation. It's not as if either Marvel or Arxis are particularly good at writing that kind of villain, right? They're not the most engaging characters. It's not as if Marvel doesn't have good villains, obviously. We just saw 4 of them. Two very definitions of good. I'm particularly inclined towards Magneto and Doom for obvious reasons. They're the most interesting, Byronic sort of anti-heroes around. But the generic villain, the so-called Mr. Champion, just not very impressive. That was a little more flaming than I expected. I was just going to snore. But why are there so many Dow Sims? Why are there so many Dow Sims in this game? And full screen projectiles? Like both Carnage and Ms. Marvel have full screen reaches. And everybody's got some kind of full screen projectile of some sort. I don't know how I feel about that. And also, I find it very, very funny that two of these villains are specifically anti-Spider-Man. The poor bastard is getting targeted to an extent that nobody else is. You're telling me that of the 4 actual villains or arguable anti-heroes, but mostly villains, that we've seen in the game thus far from the Marvel roster, 2 of them are from Spidey's roster. Peter, were you basically getting us caught in the past life? Why is your karma so bad? Why can't you even get a win in a fighting game where you happen to be one of the most popular characters? Like, what the hell was with that? Just why? I think this is short as the villains in the Marvel Universe. Why does it have to be 2 from New York and specifically Spider-Man's neck of the woods? That is so funny. I feel so sorry for him. Anyhow, yeah, play more fighting games. That's pretty much all. It was just going to be a relatively short stream tonight just to cover the news drops we have. I was kind of hoping they would release like proper SENNA gameplay footage, but I guess it's not. It's a little too much to ask with a week to go. I guess it'll be sooner to her actual release, exactly this time next week. But yeah, next stream will be Guilty Gear, and then we'll be doing some infield. And I probably will really. I should really release a short before the infield patch. And then I'm not expecting this to be a particularly try it again. I'm not expecting patch 1.3 to be particularly lore heavy. It feels like the next major push for the actual lore and main story is going to be in patch 1.4. But that's not to say that I probably won't make a video of it, because there is one interesting factor involved. Chen. Both Chen with the apostrophe, Chen, and Chen as in Chen Xiaoyu, our bodyguard that we've been working with all this time. And I'm hoping that this reveals more about the lore behind the Yan Dynasty's involvement with the colonization projects for Talos 2, and how Chen's family was involved in that in particular, given that they are basically an offshoot of the royal dynasty. So that will be very, very interesting. Yeah, that's all for now. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to stop YouTube side momentarily and then do a raid on Twitches. Very much looking forward to more 2X scale stuff in particular, as SENNA looks like a lot of fun to play. And I'm also very much looking forward to Tokon, because I need more fighting games. I am an addict. Full-on, full-fledged. I just want more. But yes, thank you all for watching. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please, of course, follow, subscribe, give me that thumbs up, hit the bell. You know the drill. Give me a follow. I'm also on Twitch, on Twitter, on Deck.Blue. Sorry, no, not Blue Sky. Deck.Blue is the interface for it. Blue Sky, and occasionally on TikTok, and very, very occasionally when I remember that I have an account over there on Instagram as well. All under Lucian Zenner. All unified under Lucian Zenner. You see the name here? That's where it is everywhere else. Take care all. I'll see you next time.